Yasas, Kalispera, good afternoon. How's it going? Today is Friday, September 6th, 2024. Currently 87 degrees Fahrenheit, that is 30 degrees Celsius. Welcome to Myrina, the main town on the incredible Greek island of Lemnos, or Lemnos. There is the Myrina castle, which I am going to hike up to now, despite being middle of the afternoon. So let's get the walk started here, and then the plan will definitely be to jump in that water after doing the hot and sweaty hike. So I just arrived yesterday from Lesvos. First time to this island, my 57th Greek island. And it is definitely looking like one of my absolute favorites, even though I haven't seen beyond the main town here. But this scene is just really unreal. This lovely harbor and bay, the classic blue and white Greek church up on the hill there, and then this just dramatic, imposing castle sprawled across this strange ridge like this. So looking forward to the views from up there and exploring around in general. It's really a huge one. And so I have a room booked here in the main town, as I showed at the beginning there, for 2 nights, last night and tonight, and am in the process of figuring out my plans tomorrow when I will check out. Basically, the plan will almost certainly be to rent a car for a few days and try to find a cheaper room somewhere elsewhere on the island, because that was the cheapest thing that I could find here, $112 a night. So strangely expensive for not being an especially well-known or popular island and being outside of the peak tourist season. But anyways, very much looking forward to seeing more of Lemnos beyond the main town, but that will probably be happening in the coming video. So let's start the hike up to the castle, and in the process I want to follow up with a few things that I mentioned in my last video when I arrived here. Okay, let's wander this way. I saw another sign for the way to the castle over here and show a bit more of these really lovely shaded lanes. So the first thing that I want to address is mosquitoes. So I mentioned in my video yesterday that where I stayed at Molivos on Lesvos, then the mosquitoes were really a problem. I don't remember any mosquitoes in the main town on Lesvos there, but where I was elsewhere on the island, then it was really annoying. So you come to a Greek island to relax and expect to be able to throw the, windows wide open in the evenings and let that sea breeze come through. And then the mosquitoes arrive and just really ruin your experience. Suddenly you have buzzing all around your ears, and you're getting bitten or stung, whatever. I don't know if they bite or sting, but probed by the mosquitoes, and you know the deal. So good news here, not a single mosquito so far. So that is a major relief. Okay, where did the sign go that I saw when I was walking here? But at least you're getting a taste of these really nice pedestrian shopping areas, and I will continue that way after the hike up to the castle. My room is right down there. I showed that yesterday, but want to show it more in the daylight. All right, so we have a sign, fortress. And the second thing that I wanted to address is, I mentioned that I couldn't find online a direct ferry from Lemnos here to Samothraki, where I would like to go next. It is the next island to the north, except for Gökçeada, the Turkish island, but the ferries do not go between the Greek islands and the Turkish islands. If they did, then I likely would have taken a ferry from Gökçeada over here, something like that. But anyway, so I went into a ferry booking office, and sure enough, what I thought might be the case was in fact the case. The direct ferries from Lemnos to Samothraki ended August 31st. So that tells you we aren't in peak season anymore. But there are various other options, and good ones. So there is another fairly close but very small island called Agios Estrophios or something like that. I hadn't heard of it before. Okay, Mudros Castle. What the heck is that? That looks very strange. Myrina Castle, that's where we're headed. Chas Fortress. So this is the island. We are over here. So Chas Fortress is nearby to here. Myrina Castle right there, and the town of Myrina. And then the Mudros Castle, Kotsinas Fortress. So lots to see on this island. And so far, just based on seeing the bay here, the water looks amazing, really nice and clear. Good beaches here, so probably good, clear water and nice beaches elsewhere on the island. The fortress of Myrina faces serious problems of consolidation and conservation. In addition to the ravages of time, man-made interventions interwoven with the history of Lemnos have contributed to its dilapidation and decay. It suffered considerable damage during the Russo-Turkish War, 1770. In the Second World War, it came under German occupation, and it was bombed in July 1943. Wow. Furthermore, residents of Myrina used building material from the fortress for their housing needs, particularly in the case of the numerous refugees who were settled here after the Asia Minor catastrophe in 1922. So that is referring to the population exchange between the Turks and the Greeks, in which, speaking of Gökçeada and the island that I was on, part of Turkey now, Bozkada, then those were Greek islands, and then in the course of the Turkish-Greek population exchange, those islands were given to Turkey under the condition that the Greeks could remain and wouldn't be bothered, but of course they were bothered. It took a few decades, but eventually they were forced out by the Turks, and it is now all Turkish. And so also at that same time period, 1922-23, then all of the Greeks in Turkey were forced to leave Turkey and relocate to Greece, and then also all of the Turks in Greece were forced to relocate to Turkey. And so a lot of the residents here must have come from those other islands or mainland Turkey, etc. All right, so Byzantine age. A small but strong fortress was here. During the period of Frankish rule, repairs to it were carried out by the Venetian Filocalo Paolo Navagaioso 1207 to 1214. Important additions by the Genovese 1373 to 1384, and then Ottoman Turks 1479 to 1912. So very similar history to other areas around here. Lesbos, like almost the exact same history as far as the Byzantine Empire, the Genovese, the Venetians, the Ottomans. Okay, it is time to put on the hat. That's better. So, I do not love every Greek island. Now, there isn't a single Greek island that I have been to in which I would say, don't go to that one, it isn't worth your time. Every Greek island that I've been to, as I said, 57 of them now, has been worth visiting, has had its own unique characteristics, and something to see on every one. But not all Greek islands are equal, and to some extent it is just a personal thing of, you know, how you vibe with the island, what you like to do. To a great extent it is about the atmosphere, just kind of a feeling you get. And Lemnos really just has this great feeling to it. The main town is fairly large, actually, compared to many other Greek islands, in which the main town could be quite a bit smaller than this, but it really has a nice relaxed feeling to it. I'm guessing that a couple of weeks ago it probably was a lot busier with tourism, but for one thing, it is now September. This is why I waited until September, is for things to start quieting down a bit. But for being early September, still in the tourist season, it is really very mellow. But it is much more than that. It's just like the look of the island, the landscapes, very interesting, unique hills here, just lovely, lovely bay there, great water, nice beach for being, you know, right at the ferry port. Oftentimes the ferry port beach is not one of the better ones. And then it's a nice contrast of these two different bays where I ate last night, and show that in the other video. I'll head down there next after the castle. But there's another really nice bay over there, a really interesting blue and white Greek church there overlooking that bay. And so yeah, first impressions are just really good with Lemnos. The fortress is entered through the impressive central gateway, 8 meters or like 27 feet high, and is protected on either side by 2 crenellated towers. The original construction is dated to the Venetian period, 1361. Yeah, that is a huge gate. So, not a very long hike there at all. Just like 5 to 10 minutes to get up here. And I'm glad, because I am feeling that heat. 87, 30 Celsius. That is hot. So now, cooling down in the shaded tunnels here, but heading back into the hot heat. This really is a massive one. More up there. Wow. I think it's bigger, it seems like, than the one at Lesvos. Could be wrong, but certainly a similar size. So we have some really interesting things to look at over on this side of the castle. First, I guess that is a lighthouse, short little lighthouse, but light on top there. And then look at that, a church, I presume, down in a like barricade. And then over here is a sign for a rock cut building. Now, I'm not sure if that is referring to the one over there, but it looks like it is referring to whatever is down here, which I have not seen yet. So, look at this. Oh man, Arabic. Absolutely fascinating. So what is going to be inside here? Okay, so far... Hello, hello, hello. It's a tunnel that goes to darkness. Okay, super creepy, but let me grab my phone, turn on the flashlight. Okay, that's a little better. But this tunnel looks like it ends. I can't quite tell, and it is so flippin' creepy back in here. I don't want to go that far. At least there must not be any goats or anything in here. Nothing's been scared away. Okay, I'm going for it, guys. Because this tunnel keeps on going. Hopefully no bats. Hello, bats! Bats, bats! No bats, please! Okay, the tunnel is curving to the right and continues, and it actually got bigger. Hello! Hello! Okay, now there's... Ooh, I can see light. So I think this is a dead-end tunnel on the left. Yeah, just a short dead end there. And here we've got light coming through. Okay, just a moth. Not anything to worry too much about. Okay, so is this going to go through or going to be like a... Oh, it goes through. Dead end tunnel there. So, that was just a tunnel. But I think that there was another room that I went past. So let's double check on that. And so there wasn't, in fact, another room or tunnel or anything. I saw everything there. So, just a random tunnel through the rock. And the lighthouse, powered by solar, I guess. If it still even works. This building with its peculiar architecture was the gunpowder store of the Ottoman period. Prior to the use of artillery weapons, it perhaps served as a dungeon. Located underground, it was protected completely from bombardment by cannon-armed warships. Likewise, as a safety measure, it was situated an appreciable distance from other buildings. Okay, well that makes practical sense. And we can go inside, it looks like. Okay, looks like... Hello! 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 I think I just heard a bat. I was going to say I might need my light on again, but there is light coming in. Hello? Hello? Okay, not seeing bats. Very, very interesting. It certainly could have been used as a church as well. The size and the shape of it certainly makes sense as a dungeon. All right, well, really, really fascinating exploring more than just a castle here. Lemnos is definitely impressing already. And then you have these other rooms here. So is this more gunpowder storage? Who are these people doing this? Refuge building. Building, so that is not an A, that is a Greek letter. Not sure what that one is called. Is that Alpha, I guess? Is an underground construction about 300 square meters. It consists of two complexes of 3 vaulted roof rooms, 2 of which have park closes. Communication between the spaces is via arched openings. There are indications that one space was used as a cistern for collecting rainwater. The construction is stone-lined, while on the outside the roofing of the vaults is with bricks. The holes in the roof are for illumination and ventilation of the underground space, securing suitable living conditions for the people who sought refuge here in time of danger. So maybe multiple uses. So there's that other bay. Very nice beaches. Hardly anyone on that one. Down there is where I had dinner last night. So I will head there next and take a much needed swim. But for now, time for a drink. Fun fact, I bought this right before starting the video and it's almost gone. So here we have some nice designs. Maybe somebody can tell us if these are just random playful paintings. Here a boat, it looks like, boat in the water, or if these might be related to like a religious holiday or something. There, the water, the very enticing water. And then here is the church where I ended the video last night after having dinner. A very nice scene. It was almost dark, just a little bit of light left in the sky, but then there were all these lights all around here, lighting up the church and the restaurant down there. Here we have a year, 1925. And another one, 1992. So, great beach out there. A couple of umbrellas, but almost nobody on the beach. And a path that I hadn't noticed yesterday, so what is this going to? Huh. It goes to stairs. I'm not going to be able to get back around that way. I will have to go back up this way, but stairs going into the rocks, I have to follow that. So here you have an old water fountain. And then mysterious stairs, stone steps, going to what? A lot of work to create these. Must be going to something. A path continuing. Looks like there was a wooden structure here at one time, so that could be what the steps were about. Although I am starting to realize that I think this is a shortcut to the castle, which I could have taken perhaps down from where I was drinking the milk. Instead, I went back up and over the castle and went down the same way that I walked up. But here we have castle walls. Let's see what this sign says. Yes, Gateway 2. Gateway 2 is reached by following the path that commences to the right of the chapel of St. Paraskevi. So I guess that's the one we just saw. At the far end of the Romekos Gialos. The gateway is created by a narrow opening between the rampart and the rocks. In its north part there is a large bastion, to which steps lead. Gateways 1 and 2 are considered to be contemporaneous on the basis of similarity in the manner of their construction. So, last quarter of the 14th century. So, there you go. The second entrance into the castle. So, I forgot to finish my thought on the ferries after Lemnos here. So, there are, as far as I know, basically 3 options from here. I could go back to Lesvos, which I don't want to do, of course. I could go to that smaller island of Aios Efstratios, and then there are Well, the ferry that I took from Lesvos to here was going to Thessaloniki, so that's one option, but I don't want to do that. But there is also a ferry going to Kavala. Now perhaps that is the same ferry that then goes to Thessaloniki, not sure. But I guess there are boats from here straight to Kavala on the mainland of northern Greece, where I was just a few months ago. I don't particularly need to go back to Kavala because I've been there, but from there are ferries over to Thasos, an island which I showed when I was in Kavala. It is just right off the coast there. And I want to go to that island as well as Samothraki. And then there are also ferries going from Agios Estradios, the little island south of here, to Kavala as well. That might be the same boat going from here. That seems likely that it comes from Agios Estradios, comes here and then Kavala. But I am now thinking that my plan will be to stay here another 2-3 days, then ferry to Agios Estradios, and then ferry from there to Kavala, then get to Thasos, and then, depending on the time at that point, maybe get to Samothraki that way. So I would have to go back to the mainland of Greece at Kavala, and then about an hour and a half to Alexandropoli, which I haven't been to, and I'm curious to see. However, it is not, as I think I said in my video when I was in Kavala, Alexandropoli is not named after Alexander the Great. It is named after another Alexander, and apparently it is not a particularly picturesque city. But from Alexandropoli, you can take a ferry to Samothraki. I don't believe that you can go from Thasos straight to Samothraki. So then I will have completed all of the North Aegean islands, and then there are flights out of Alexandropoli. And so I could go from Samothraki back to Alexandropoli, catch a flight somewhere. It will depend a lot on how much time I have left in the Schengen zone. I have to leave by September 23rd at this point, so I have 2.5 weeks left, which is not enough, but it will have to do. Okay, so here you can see nobody here in the middle of the afternoon. It was a very lively scene yesterday evening. Now, time to take a swim. Going to walk over to the beach over there. Water looking perfect. Oh man. So I was thinking about this hiking in the middle of the afternoon sun, and how I really wouldn't have been doing this if it wasn't for the fact that I was right here by the sea. Climbing that mountain in the middle of the island somewhere. Now, I certainly have done that in the past, but just the intensity of the heat today and the complete lack of shade up there, etc., then I was really like on the verge of feeling heat stroke possibly coming on. Not to the point that I felt like, you know, I was about to literally pass out or anything. In that case, I would have stopped. But in part, then I was doing this whole adventure up on that hill there because I knew that I could just get right down to the water and cool off right away. Otherwise, then I would have taken some other precautions. I would have, made sure that my hat was wet. That's a very important one. I would have made sure that my shirt was wet. I probably would have been wearing my not long sleeve shirt, but my short sleeve shirt with a bit of a sleeve down to the elbow, and gotten that wet, because that really helps cool you down a lot. Maybe get the shorts wet, get everything wet that you can. And then also I probably would have taken more breaks in the shade, taken it just a little bit easier, or just do it earlier or do it later. But point being that this is how people die on the Greek islands, as occurred to close to a dozen people or something earlier this summer, is going for a hike in this kind of heat without being prepared and truly aware of the dangers. You have to have lots of water. So I had that whole big thing of milk. I also had a bottle of nice cold water, and then definitely got to have a hat, and getting the stuff wet, and being aware of how far you're hiking. How far away are you going to get from safety? Your car, a town, the sea, something like that. You need to be aware of all that stuff, so that if you get to the point where you feel like, man, I feel like I'm about to pass out, I need to lay down in the shade, you got some shade, or you can get back to somewhere. Because otherwise, if you have a long ways to go to get back somewhere, then that is where you really run into trouble. Is you're dehydrated, you're overheated, and now you're a long ways from anything, you're getting disoriented. That is where it is easy to get lost. And so you just want to be really aware. Middle of the afternoon, make smart choices.